Are we live? Are we live? Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of the A Show. And I'm just here to let you know that I am kind of the odd man out or the odd person out right now. April asked me to do a rap and drop some rhymes about me not having red hair, but I didn't want to go there. So, see, I just kind of did. How's that for off the top of my head?
There you go. You're the warmth in between a strawberry sandwich today. How about that?
And I think I just freaked Lauri out. Lauri, I'm so sorry. That was just the thing we had. I apologize.
It's cool. I like weird.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you, Lauri, for joining us. And for those of you who are also joining us today, and hopefully we have lots of fans that have questions. Lauri is the author of Dream On It, Unlock Your Dreams, Change Your Life. She is an expert in dream interpretation. And this has been a very exciting guest for me. So, because we have lots of questions. So, Lauri, thank you for being here.
My pleasure. I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I know, Aron, you have questions, and we just decided to do a pajama party. And I thought this one's appropriate. It says, don't wait. I can read it upside down. Don't wait for sleep to dream, even though the dream part is worn out because it's so old. So I was trying to find something appropriate. Aron, you're wearing a robe?
I have a robe with a scarf in the wintertime to keep my neck warm because that's very important.
It's very Hugh Hefner.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, like it's kind of the reverse colors, but, you know, why not?
Yeah. And you're rocking the leopard print that only redheads can do very well.
Feathers, of course.
I like it.
Awesome.
I like it.
I actually used to have a ring robe similar to that.
Do you?
Yes.
Huh.
But it was zebra stripe, I believe, but it had the feathers on it and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we could have all done the leopard print today.
Oh, so, you know what? It'll be next time.
It was funny too because we decided to do the pajama party thing last minute. Lauri's like, let's do this, and I texted Aron. I'm like, hey, you cool with this? He's like, well, I sleep bare ass, but I'll figure something out.
See, I got no problem with bare ass. That would be fine with me.
I don't think anyone does. I think our fans would be fine with it.
No, I just think maybe we have to find a different medium to do that on, like a different vehicle. I mean, I don't know if, something more age appropriate.
Well, it is a podcast. It's the last realm of free speech on the internet. So we have to take advantage of that while we still have it,
Right.
Absolutely.
So you have questions, right? So you want to, you have, you have had a recurring dream.
Yeah. So, Lauri, like this is and first of all, you know what, like for our listeners and everything, how did you get into dream interpretation? Like, can you just give us like your backstory a little bit before we get into the good stuff?
Yeah. Okay. So I
mean, your story is the good stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not as good as the psycho dreams we're probably going to be hearing about today, but I've been a vivid dreamer my whole life. I was able to remember my dreams since I was 2-3 years old. I would draw them when I was little. When I got a little older, I started writing them down. So, I hated waking up in the morning and not being in that amazing magical world I was just in that night. So it really wasn't until I was 19 and my grandfather died, and he was the first person close to me to die. So he was like the first death experience I'd ever had. And I got very depressed, and it was about 2 weeks after his death that I had this dream where he and I were walking arm in arm through this museum, and I knew he was dead. And so I asked him, what is it like where you are? And he said, I can't tell you that, but what I can tell you is that it's secure. And then he gave me a hug, and he started walking up the staircase, and I began to wake up. I could smell his Old Spice. I could feel him. That dream was more vivid than anything I'd ever experienced in my life. And I woke up thinking, wow, what was that? What is this all about? Why do we do it? What is the purpose? And so that dream propelled me to study dream psychology. So this isn't like a psychic gift. This is based in science and understanding subconscious thought.
So you, it can be safe to say that like you're very well familiar with like the Jungian approach to dream. Okay, so that is your like primary.
That's my background, yeah.
Awesome. Oh, great, awesome. Well, you found you're in the right place.
Yeah, we're big into metaphysics, and it's interesting that today the spiritual side and the science side has never been closer and more connected. So it's interesting.
Yes, and that dreams are finally getting the recognition they deserve and no longer being considered, woohoo, new age, that it's actually a very valid psychological approach to understanding the self.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you know what, the new age, like that term always kind of not bothered me, but like, I mean, you do have some people on the extreme, but like the like new age, it's actually very ancient principles that predate like a lot of the spiritual systems we have in place today. So it's just kind of like the rediscovering or re-examining of just very ancient principles, in my opinion.
It is. That's why I hate that term.
Yeah. No. So no,
it has a stigma.
It really does. It's almost like it's been discredited, as foo-foo, woo-woo, ridiculous, not, you know what I mean? That's why I just don't like referring to it like that.
Yeah.
I call it the metaphysical.
Yeah. There's a fine balance that you have to find between the metaphysical, the paranormal, and the natural and the literal, and the psychological and the science. There's some kind of meeting in the middle, meeting of the minds, combination of both, where I think all the answers are.
Where like it was explained to me like how one, and I don't want to get into details, but like with there was certain symbols that belong, earth, air, fire, water, which are the natural elements, and then the fifth, which is spirit, that enters it and kind of animates it, gives life to it. And it's funny, like the different philosophies, like they'll tell you like even a blade of grass has its own spirit, has its own energy, which is it's absolutely fascinating if you look at it that way. And so that's that's all wonderful stuff. And again, I don't want to get too off track here because we could talk for hours about this stuff. But but no, so we're focusing specifically on dreams. So do you like I'm sure you've heard the term astral projection. Like is the astral plane considered like the dream realm, or is it the dream realm a different state?
Well, the dream realm happens within the machinery of the body. But the psychological state of it allows us to receive that which is out there. So when we go to sleep, the brain goes through our brainwave patterns go through different stages. And with each stage of sleep, our brainwave pattern gets slower and slower in frequency. So once we enter REM dream sleep, it's the perfect frequency where we can tune in like a radio to all that energy that is out there. And that's why I do believe, because of that dream with my grandfather, I do believe that when we're in that REM state, we're able to tune in to that consciousness of those that are no longer within the body. And we can receive messages, we can have contact then. Of course, that's not to say every time you dream of someone that's passed on that it's a communication. Most of the time it's not. It's a representation of something else. But, I think contact dreams happen.
Is it one of those ones where like you feel it? I'm sorry, April, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I've had that similar experience because most of my family has passed on. And at some point or another, they have come to me in dreams. And I have questioned that because I just thought maybe it's just that I wanted to see them so much and know they were okay that I made it happen. And most recently, by recently, I mean the last couple months, my grandfather died when I was 16. And he recently came to me in my dreams. And this is like, I kind of talk to my family still. But I kind of left him out, and I wonder, it's like it was so real. And for me, I don't remember my dreams a lot. I either remember just like a little portion or they fade. It's unusual for me to remember things in very vivid, complete detail. I'm always jealous when people say they can remember things or really, it doesn't happen for me. And this, I remembered every single detail. We were walking together. He was talking to me. And I was thinking, I'm wondering if that's him telling me he's around and to include me or include him when I'm talking, like his way of saying, hey, I'm still here. So it was just strange because I didn't know him that well, but he made a profound difference in my life for the years that I did have him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was, I don't know, it was just very strange. So.
Well, there's some criteria that will dictate if it's a contact dream or not. And one of them is that it feels different than other dreams. It's a much more real experience, and you remember it differently. Regular dreams fade in time, the memory of them fade. But these contact dreams never, ever leave you. It's like you just had it moments ago whenever you talk about it.
Okay.
Also, the loved one in the dream looks their best, absolute perfection of themselves. And then they usually have some kind of message. Sometimes they don't speak at all. You just have the feeling or the knowing that everything's okay. Or they tell you everything's okay. And like my grandfather said, it's secure. And I can't think of a better way to describe what the afterlife might be like. Nothing to worry about. Nothing can harm you. No debt, no sickness, no loss. So do you feel like that your dream fit those criteria?
I do. And my dad did it that way. My grandmother came, my mom. They've all kind of been like that. And it's where it's been just very realistic, and I've been pissed off when I woke up. And like I said, it's very unusual for me to dream and remember it. And it literally it dissipates like smoke as soon as I wake up. Yeah. Or maybe somewhere later in the day, I can remember just a little bit.
Would you like a trick that'll help you remember your dreams better?
I'm sorry?
Would you like a trick that would help you to remember your dreams better?
Yes, absolutely.
This is good.
Because I do have a dream journal. And if I can.
A dream journal is a great idea, yes. Because you want to have something handy to write the dream down as soon as you wake up. So if you don't, it'll be gone after breakfast. But this little trick is like the easiest thing you'll ever do, and it's going to help you remember your dreams so much more from now. You'll get to the point you'll remember all your dreams throughout the night. We average about 5 dreams each night. So whenever you wake up, whether it's in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or you're waking up for good in the morning, stay in the exact same position you woke up in, because that's the position your body was in when you were dreaming. If you move your body, it's like unplugging yourself from that dream you were just in seconds ago. So you want to stay put, don't move, quiet your mind, don't think about what you have to do today. Give yourself about 3 to 5 minutes of quiet, still time before you get up and before you start thinking. Because that dream, you were just in it seconds ago, because we tend to wake up right after each cycle of REM. And just let it come back to you. And you may only remember a little piece, like I just remember there was a dog. Great, write it down. The more you do this, the stronger your dream recall will get. It's like working a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. And make it a part of your morning routine every morning. And before you know it, you'll start remembering more and more detail, and you'll start remembering more and more dreams. And then you'll be like me, remember every single dream every night.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to do that. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, that one has been written down.
Yeah.
Good
I don't have to
boy.
write it down. I'll remember it. I'll totally remember that. Do you have any other suggestions or tips? Because it drives me nuts that I'm in the minority here with the dream thing. Or just anything that anyone could use in regards to that.
I would add more vitamin B6 to your diet, or just the supplement, because that has been proven to improve dream recall. So you can find it naturally in foods, leafy greens, fish, mushrooms, or just the supplement. But don't take it after lunch, because it can give you energy. So you don't want it to keep you up. Take it with lunch.
Okay.
And that
cool. Awesome.
I'll try that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All kinds of tips, right, and stuff. And this is great. This is why I love our show. I mean, it's just you'll get any bit of extremely useful information, like stuff for your day-to-day life that will, just improve it greatly if you do it. So again, Lauri, thank you so much for sharing that. That's amazing that you do that. So anything else? I mean, like, so where are you at right now with dream interpretation? I mean, you do this professionally and things like that. So just like, what is that like? Because I know, believe me, tons of people in the metaphysical profession, and it's such a weird thing, right? Because it's a spiritual thing, but at the same time, having to make a living, and the people that are truly successful at it, it's like they have, like you said, it's the balance of being a healer and being giving, and at the same time, having your talents compensated for, which is fair. And so that's such an amazing world to be in. And what's that like for you? And just
well, there's never a dull moment, because dreams are a renewable resource of entertainment and interesting things. But when I work with a client, it's like I hold their hand and we walk through the dream and explore it piece by piece. So I'm not just going to say, well, this means this, that means that. We'll sit in one piece of the dream and I'll say, okay, at this point in the dream, what were you thinking? Because your thought process in the dream is super important to the message, because it will apply to that same thought process you have about something right now in your real life. And then when we are able to connect that to something in your real life, we go, oh, okay, this is the issue your dream is trying to help you with. Yeah. And then we go through every little part of the dream and we connect it to what's going on in their real life. We find the message that the dreamer is giving themselves through the dream, because essentially your dreams are a message from you to you about you in order to improve you.
Oh, wow. So here's a question for you. Some of the most common things, little things in dreams, like I used to have a dream that my teeth were falling out all the time. And one of my friends one of the people who we had on this show, who I guess is now a friend, who said it in Latin, the Latin community, that means someone's going to die. And I was like, well, I guess that was kind of accurate. My parents went, my grandparents went. So what are some of the more common things and what do they mean?
Okay. So you brought up a interesting and a common old wives' tale about dreams. Like there's another one, if you dream you're falling and you hit the ground, you're going to die. Well, actually, no.
Yes. That's another common one. I'm always falling.
So I've never spoken to a single dead person who told me they were dreaming that about the moment of their death. But I've spoken to many people that have dreamt of falling, hit the ground, and woke up just fine with a pulse. So the teeth dream is super, super, super common. And it doesn't mean someone's going to die. It's more, remember, your dreams are all about you. They're not about other people. They're about you and what you're going through and what is directly and currently affecting you. So teeth in dreams, any focus on the mouth, the lips, teeth, tongue, throat area is going to be connected to the way you've been communicating in real life. So when your teeth fall out, and that's the most common version of the teeth dream, when your teeth fall out, that means you've had some kind of loose speech the previous day. Maybe you don't have a filter. Maybe you said something you shouldn't have said. You allowed too much out of your mouth. Something that should have stayed in there permanently, like your teeth.
That explains why I've had that so often.
Now.
Okay.
And so you also mentioned the falling dream, which is actually, there are cave drawings that seem to be depicting a falling dream. So this is, a dream as old as time. The falling dream usually means there's something going on in your real life that's going in the wrong direction. Maybe high hopes you had came crashing down. Maybe there's a difficult situation that's bringing you down. Down is the operative word here. People who suffer from depression will get the falling dream as a heads up from their subconscious that, hey, get ready, you're about to fall into another bout of depression.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you want to go up in a dream. You want to find yourself going up, like in an elevator or an escalator or in a plane, because going up in a dream typically represents progress, rising above, reaching higher levels in life or in career or whatever the case may be.
Wow.
Okay. I have a quick one. When I was little, I had a dream that I went to 7-Eleven with my mom. This was a recurring dream, and we came out of the 7-Eleven and interrupted a guy going in with a gun, and he shot me right here, and I could feel it 100%, and I would wake up. Like, I never really understood what that meant, and it happened over and over again. Could always.
What ages?
I woke up and I could feel it.
Right.
Right in the third eye.
For you.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
How old were you when you were having this dream?
I want to say 10, 11, 12.
Okay. So adolescence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember your thought process in the dream when you saw the guy before he shot you? What did you think?
I don't. I remember I used to dream a lot more vividly than I do now.
Do you remember when you got shot, when you felt the bullet, do you remember your thought process? Do you remember thinking
No.
I'm going to die or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, I thought I was going to die.
Okay. All right. So typically, death in a dream will represent some kind of change or ending that's going on in your real life. Adolescence is a time of change. The body's changing, hormones are changing, your body's changing. Were there any other changes going on in your life at that time? Any endings?
I grew up in a shitty household. It was a rough way to grow up. I think it was. My mom was autistic. My dad was bipolar and an alcoholic, and I used to have a lot of that kind of bad dreams and stuff.
Okay. So your head is what's shot. Now, whenever a particular body part is brought to attention in a dream, it's for a reason. Nothing's ever random. It's a reason. It's your head. The head can represent your intellect, your foresight, your intuition.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting shot in the head. So did your mom or your dad or anyone in the family insult your intelligence in any way?
It was a rough place to grow up. My dad actually shot my mom, and it was a like I said, it was a rough place to grow up. So,
were you having this dream before or after?
I honestly can't remember.
Oh,
probably, yeah. So he's turned the gun on us before, and you never really knew what was going on or where it was coming from. And I used to stay in my room a lot or read a book most of the time. So, yeah, I think maybe it was, now that I'm thinking back, probably a response to kind of that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a whole different element to this dream.
Yeah.
So it's not as symbolic as it is a fear response, but still there's messages in it for you. And I think the reason you were getting shot in the head, again, points to your intellect. You would go hide and read a book. Mm-hmm. So out of fear, you were allowing that to change you into a smarter person. Did you have thoughts of, I need to really better myself and get out of this at some point?
Yes. Yeah. As a matter of fact, at one point I did run away. So.
And I think the 7-Eleven element of it, because remember, nothing in a dream is random. 7-Eleven is a quick stop. You go in there, you go out. It's quick. Mm-hmm. So that may have represented the quickness, the urgency you needed to get out of there.
Yeah. Okay. That was. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you got out of there.
I survived. I think sometimes when you have a really, really rough upbringing, it turns you into someone very strong, like quite a survivor. After you deal with something like that, you can kind of handle anything. So
that was changing your mindset.
Yeah.
Which is why you kept getting shot in the head.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. You've had a recurring one too, right, Aaron?
No, it's not so much recurring. And it's really interesting when you were talking about falling and flying. I mean, I had this one, and I'm not even sure if it was the same night. It might have been, and I was probably between 4 and 6 years old, and I just remember it vividly. I was in my father's silver truck. And I've had a very stable home life. My parents are still together and everything like that. So like it's nothing
crazy like mine.
It's not like it's very much in juxtaposition to like April. So like I don't know where this is coming from. And my father was driving the truck across a bridge, and I was in the back of his silver pickup, and then I was falling. I just was falling out onto the water, and then. I don't remember if I hit or not, and I don't think I was just like, oh, well, this kind of stinks. You know what I mean? But I wasn't like panicking. And then I remember I was in this room, and there was like this, I don't know if you would call him a demon, but he wasn't a good guy, let's say. And he had it was very like jagged, spiky armor on. And he was like working on something like in a blacksmith shop. And I don't know what it was. And then I woke up, and I just never knew what to make of that. And I usually don't remember a lot of my dreams, but for some reason, like that one has stuck with me. In my mind, like every so often, I'll get like flashes of that particular dream, like those two scenes. And then years later, I remember I was dreaming I drank Cool Mint Listerine, and then I was literally flying around like Peter Pan. And that was actually a pretty cool feeling. And no, I did not wake up and drink the Cool Mint Listerine at all. So this isn't an endorsement for them or saying that no, it doesn't. Just gargle with it and use as directed by your dentist. But yeah, those were like the two particular like scenes that I remember. And look, I have more issues than Rolling Stone. I'm not going to go there, but just based off of your expertise, would I make anything of that? Or
okay, well, let's start with the truck and the bridge dream. How old were you when you got that?
Between 4 and 6.
And you had it more than once? Yeah,
it was a one-time thing. Yeah.
Oh, just once. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're in the back of the truck and you fall out?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you typically ride in the back of your father's truck?
Not typically, no, but sometimes. It wasn't like it was a special occasion when I did it, and it wasn't like on the highway or anything like that.
Okay. So like what kind of special occasion would cause you to ride in the back?
Well, if we were all out in the sticks or whatever, like me and my cousins, my uncles, a bunch of us would jump in the back of the truck and we'd all go in it like that.
Okay. Was there anyone else in the back of the truck with you in the dream?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, and you're going over a bridge.
Yeah, and it was at nighttime.
Okay, and it's at night. So usually bridges will represent some kind of transition you're going through, because a bridge takes you from point A to point B, from this part to the crossover to the other part. So at that age, do you recall a big transition that you were going through? A move, going into a new grade?
Maybe starting a new grade, yeah, like new, like grammar school.
Okay, so going from kindergarten to
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall if this was in the summer before that happened?
I have no idea. No, I was so young, Lauri. Like,
okay,
probably if you're in the back of the truck.
No.
Do you recall if in real life you were afraid to start the new school?
No, I don't remember, and I don't think I was. Okay.
So you fall out before you get to the other side. So usually falling off a bridge in a dream is common. It's caused a lot of phobias for a lot of people. They're always terrified to go over a bridge because of the dream. But usually that dream is connected to having some kind of fear in real life of not being able to make it through some kind of transition that's happening.
Well, my father was driving the truck. Does that mean anything? Or, I mean, I'm sure.
Well,
like, does that?
In real life, let's just try to get a little basic first before we go deeper. In real life, did you ever have concerns about falling out of the truck? Were you always warned, keep your hands inside, don't want to fall out?
I was never scared. Like I was never, I wasn't, wilding on a buck, but I was pretty, pretty, like I was your average kid. You know what I mean? I didn't know I should be afraid of some things, I guess. So
Okay. So it wouldn't have been caused by that. So
Mhm.
Did you ever have any concerns about your father not being there for you?
Yes.
Okay. That could be what this is, because your father's driving, you fell out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what kind of concerns did you have at that age? What was going on in that little brain?
I just wasn't sure, like, I guess if I was, I was fairly mischievous, so I guess I wasn't sure if I was in trouble or not. And you know what I mean? I was, always like, oh, did I do something wrong? I guess was the thing.
Okay.
And would I get caught? Like,
would you get caught?
I think that's what it was. Were you getting caught?
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was more fear of getting in trouble than it was fear of like being overlooked or not being paid attention to.
Yes, yeah, that kind of thing. Yes, it was fear of being in trouble. Yeah.
Okay, so that might be the connection here. And so then you're falling into the water and you're not afraid.
No, I wasn't I wasn't celebrating, but I was like, oh, well, this kind of stinks as I'm plummeting, to that black water kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when that thought process, remember the thought process you have in the dream is very important and will apply to that same thought process you're having in your real life. So can you correlate that thought process of, oh, this stinks, to when you thought you were in trouble in real life?
Yes.
Okay. So that may be what caused the dream. Your subconscious was equating it, falling out with your father, falling out of his good graces.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you. That was really cool.
That makes sense.
And so now you're well behaved, correct?
Absolutely, yes. Okay. I mean, look, of course I am. Yes. I mean, not for nothing, but I grew up to be the intellectual savior of the masses. So.
We're so blessed.
I have 3 quick ones I wanted to run by you, and or 3 quick questions. So in one, like I said, they dissipate very quickly. In one, Aron actually, we live opposite coast. I live in Florida. He lives in California. In one, Aron showed up on my doorstep. I just remember opening the door and he was just standing there. In another, I had a boyfriend at the time. And I guess in my dream, he had another girlfriend and she died, which I was completely unaware that he had another girlfriend. Right. And when he told me or when I found out she died, I was torn between being angry with him and feeling really bad for him. It was like 50-50.
Okay.
And then my third
Let's start there before we go to your other dream.
Okay.
Before I lose my train of thought. Okay. So you were 50-50 with him in the dream. I feel bad, but damn it. He lied to me. I'm mad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the time in real life, were you having those same feelings? Was there something you were mad at him about but wanted to give him grace?
Yes.
Do you want to share the juicy details, or is that private?
He had withdrawn quite a bit, and we ended up splitting up. And he's a good person, a good human being, but he's one of those people that when things come down on him and he gets overloaded, he just kind of retreats and needs his alone space and will drop any responsibility around him to try and minimize all the chaos. And I happen to be one of those responsibilities.
I wonder if you were picking up on the fact that your relationship was starting to come to an end because the death of the girlfriend could represent the death of you as his girlfriend.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah. Your subconscious was preparing you.
Wow.
Yeah, because I kind of knew it was coming. So it wasn't, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was your third one?
The third one was I woke up and I couldn't remember very much, but there was some kind of cycle where I was going around and around and around while I was doing something. And no matter what, I couldn't stop this cycle. I couldn't get off of it. Like it was, I don't know if it was chores or work or something, but it was some kind of cycle where I'm like, I want to be done with this, but I have to keep going, or I can't stop. I don't know. It's a round and round kind of thing.
And so you actually physically going around?
Yep. Where
Okay.
I had to keep going through the motions over and over again.
Okay, you may have just interpreted with what you just said. I had to keep
That's
going
what I was
through the
afraid of.
motions. Does that can you connect it to something that was going on then where you were just going through the motions?
There are a few things as far as work related and things like that where I go through the motions. Yeah.
And it was redundant and you were getting tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still dealing with that?
Yep. Because
Oh.
what puts food on my table is not what I love anymore. So
Okay.
it feels like an energy thieving work process for me.
Right. So yeah, how recent was it that you had the dream?
2 weeks ago.
Okay. All right. So your subconscious is really trying to get your attention.
Okay.
And it's, equating your situation, which is going in circles. And that, you're going to have to find a different direction as opposed to
Okay.
this.
That makes sense. Okay.
Awesome.
Then the one where he showed up on the door.
Oh, right.
And then I have written down a couple of people wrote to us. I'm sure they wrote in some dreams. Somebody asked me the most common sexual dreams also. So I'm sure people want to know about those. So.
Okay. All right. Going back to yours where Aron just showed up on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any conversation in the dream? You opened the door, he's standing there, then what?
No, nothing.
How did you feel when you saw him in the dream?
I thought it was cool that he showed up. I'm like, hey, cool.
Okay. And when did you have it?
It was probably a couple months ago.
Okay. So when did you guys start conceiving the show?
A couple months ago.
Nope.
Okay. And so the door of opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you open it and you were very open to the idea of the show with him. Cool.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
That makes
Yeah, your
sense.
subconscious approved.
Okay.
Awesome. That's always good.
We just got a note. Are you going to read the note?
No, you get. I actually don't have it.
Oh, Marvelous Wolf wrote in and just said, have you ever had a dream that was so hilarious that you woke up laughing?
Yes. When I was taking progesterone, my dreams were insane. And I would wake up laughing my ass off.
Maybe I need to do that.
What about you guys?
Winona says, I've always wondered what the hair falling out was about. The one and only time I've had that dream, I was kind of sick at the time. And the day after the dream, I ended up being taken to the ambulance to the hospital and later life flighted to another one with renal failure and sepsis and almost died. Always wondered if that was a warning of impending health issues. I've had hair falling out dreams before too.
Well, typically when your subconscious is communicating to you about your body, it's a little more literal than symbolic. Unless within all that sickness, she actually did have hair loss. If not, then this might have been about something else. So typically, hair in dreams will represent thoughts and ideas, plans, that which is on our mind, that which sprouts from the head like hair. So to lose hair in a dream would usually mean you're going through something where you're like at a loss of, I don't know what to do about this. Or maybe you're going, if you're a creative, you're having a creative block. So it would be more about, it could also be about ridding yourself of thoughts you no longer need.
Mm-hmm.
It would, of course, on the context of the dream, what else was going on, but it would be more about what's on your mind, what's coming out of your head.
Jerry Z. Min says, what happens when you dream something and it happens in the future, even if you didn't think it would happen?
Okay.
Psychic.
So he's talking about what we call precognitive dreaming, which is when you have a you have a dream, and then what you dreamed about actually happens within days or weeks. And here's the thing about precognitive dreaming. There's criteria for this as well. It has to, the dream has to happen within days or weeks, not like years down the road. And it has to play out exactly as dreamt for it to be considered a certified precognitive dream. It can't be like weird and symbolic, because that way it's just too easy to paint the bullseye around the target, so to speak, make the dream fit the situation. For example, Mark Twain had a precognitive. Also, you have to have told someone about or have documented proof you dreamt it before the event happened.
Okay.
So Mark Twain is a really good example of a precognitive dream. He dreamt that his brother died in a riverboat accident, and he went to go claim or identify the body, and the casket was on these two chairs, and there was a wreath of flowers on the casket, white flowers with the red flower in the center. Days later, his brother was killed in a riverboat accident. He went to go claim the body. The casket was on two steel chairs. The only difference was that instead of the wreath of flowers being on the casket, a nurse came in holding flowers.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that's pretty much exactly as he dreamt it.
Wow.
There's they're called a dark rock group called Wardruna. They specialize kind of in Norse Viking music, and they didn't before. The lead singer had a dream one night that he was supposed to do 24 songs based on runes, and he had no idea what runes were, how to go about doing this. But that was the dream he had, and he decided to go ahead and research all the Norse and Viking history and runes, and he did those 24 songs over 3 albums, and they ended up being the primary music used for the show Vikings, and they sell out wherever they go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really interesting
cool.
story.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah.
That's a good example of how dreams serve many, many purposes. The main purpose is that we're problem solving when we're dreaming, which is why we say, well, let me sleep on it when we have a big decision makes we're really dreaming on it. Hence the name of my book, Dream on It.
There you go.
Another purpose is...
but show us your book again, so people, if they want to learn more.
And if we wanted to buy the book, where can we go get it?
It's available everywhere, darling.
Okay.
Okay.
Also on Amazon.
Okay.
Okay, right on. There it is.
Okay, so dreams also, another purpose that dreams serve is that they provide us with creative ideas and inspiration. You just told us an excellent example. Another one is the search engine Google. We have that because Larry Page dreamed that he was able to download everything that existed on his computer in little sentences. So he woke up from that dream. He ran down to his local coffee shop, started taking notes on the little napkins, called up his business partner, said, hey, I've got this great idea. Do you think we can make this work? A few months later, they started developing Google, and I mean, how filthy rich is he?
Wow.
And that was life-changing for all of us, you know?
Yeah. In some ways, not so good.
Wow. Amazing. Absolutely incredible. Wow.
Doug Gay says, recently I've had a lot of dreams about gunfights and defending myself and others.
Okay, gunfights are usually connected to verbal fights in real life. The gun, the bullets are your emotional weapons. And here is a rule of thumb that will help you figure out your dreams. If you are ever able to find a figure of speech in your dream, or a metaphor, you have found a good part of the message. So we'll say, oh, he's always shooting off his mouth. So that's why guns will often represent verbal altercations. So I'm wondering if every time he gets this dream, he's having to defend someone in some sort of argument or conflict.
Wow.
Very cool. Wow, that's so incredible.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, April.
Go ahead. I was gonna mention Eva being psychic medium, and at night she gets voices that come to her. Or are you familiar with that happening?
In a dream, or are you talking about not in the dream state?
Not really in the dream state. As she's going to sleep, that's when they seem to come to her the most.
So that's interesting, because that first stage of sleep, alpha, as the onset of sleep, it's called hypnagogia, and it's kind of an in-between state. And it is when we're in the alpha state, and we were talking earlier about, brainwave patterns. When we're in that alpha hypnagogia in-between state, it's what's it? Freud called it the rhythm of genius. And so your brain waves are at this frequency where you are your most creative and your most open. And
that's a megahertz too, right? Like a 4 megahertz or something.
Tesla would do that, by the way, I believe.
Tesla. Well, Thomas Edison would. He kept a comfy chair in his lab, and whenever he was having trouble with an invention, he'd go get in his chair and he'd keep ball bearings in his hand. And then he would drift off, and the ball bearings were there so that if he got too deep into sleep past the alpha stage, his hand would drop, the balls would hit the floor and wake him up. And then he could immediately capture what he was just, figuring out in that state of consciousness.
Yeah. That's incredible.
So you said Elon Musk does that too?
Who's that?
You said Elon Musk does that also?
No, I heard that Tesla would do that as well.
Oh, Tesla. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I said Elon Musk.
Well, yeah. No, and it's funny when you say like the in-between stages, Lauri. Are you familiar with someone named Neville Goddard? He preaches this technique, and he's no longer with us. He has transitioned, but he was around during, I think, the 40s, 50s, and 60s, maybe even 70s. But when you're going to sleep, if you get yourself and like start visualizing what you would like your life to look like, that is a great way to kind of induce or enact the law of causation or cause and effect. The law of attraction. That's the big word everyone likes to use. So what are your beliefs on that? Like, do you have it one way or another? Because it's like, as far as our consciousness goes, right? We were just saying how like you broke it down like the alpha, and then we transition into like the deep REM, right? Where our consciousness has to go somewhere. So as it's transitioning through this process, like, does it open up different gateways for different opportunities to come in?
Well, it's the way you can change your thinking. So dreaming is a thinking process. You're thinking when you're dreaming, and that dreaming is your deepest, most insightful, most powerful thought process. And so you were talking about, consciously as you're drifting off, imagining the life you want. And I'm all about that, because this is a powerful way to manifest, because that thought process of imagining yourself, receiving an Academy Award or whatever your goal is, you're more likely to dream about that because it's on your mind as you slowly enter into REM dream sleep. And then when you have that dream, you're actually living it because you don't know it's a dream. So it makes it more of a reality for you. So you're more likely to keep focusing on it and achieving it.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. Very cool.
Our producer, Colin, had a question for you as well, or a few questions, I think. Colin, you there?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Hang on. Let me turn my camera on for the pajama party here.
There we go. There he is.
And can't have a pajama party without a teddy bear or something laying around to make you feel comfortable. But my question for you, Lauri, is I think I'd seen something you tweeting a couple days ago about lucid dreaming and how you can control your dreams and just lucid dreams in general. So I think for the people watching, could you go over like lucid dreams, and are there ways for you to be able to, as you said, dreaming and remembering this stuff is like a muscle. So for you to be able to control it where you are actually in control of your dreams while they're going on, instead of your dreams just kind of taking off in their own wild imagination.
Yeah. So anyone watching, if you have had a lucid dream, let us know. So like you said, lucid dreaming is when you are in a dream and then you realize it's a dream and then you can control it. And it is the absolute coolest experience you will ever have. A lot of people will become lucid in a nightmare because the fear is so intense. It triggers a level of consciousness. And unfortunately, people then use that lucidity, that awareness to wake up and get out of the nightmare, when instead they should remain in the dream and look at that axe murderer or whatever and say, who are you? What do you represent? And you will get an answer. So lucid dreaming can be used for just for fun, or it can be used for spiritual and personal growth, for insight to problem solve, to overcome PTSD. There's so many benefits to it. I always tell my clients, when you're able to become lucid, I think the best thing you can do, aside from flying or having sex with your favorite celebrity, is to ask a question. Because you're going to get an answer. When you ask a question while in the lucid state, you are directly communicating with your subconscious mind while you're conscious. So it's like both sides of your minds are having a conversation. And your subconscious is where everything is. All your experiences, all your memories, all the answers you need for yourself are in the subconscious. So ask, what do I need to know about my life right now? Or what do I need to do about X? What should I do about Y? And you're going to get an answer, and it's going to be powerful. Oh, and okay. So if you want to know how to lucid dream,
that was my question. Thank you.
and Lauri,
so that begs the question: how do you get there?
Right. So some people just naturally do. I'm one of them. But if you want to,
okay, for the rest of us,
I mean, it could be a redhead thing.
People,
yeah,
it's not.
If you want to learn how to
it's a Lauri thing.
Here's what you do. Set your alarm about 30 minutes earlier than you normally wake up. And have your snooze ready to wake you up 30 minutes later. So when that alarm goes off, hit your snooze. You've got a good 30-minute window. 20 minutes could also work. You've got a window of time where it's long enough you're going to be able to go back to sleep and enter dream sleep, but it's not long enough that you're going to go into the deep delta sleep, which is where after dreaming, and then if you go into delta, it kind of erases it. So you also will have gone through all your cycles of sleep throughout the night. This will be in your last cycle of REM. So you're more likely to hold on to enough consciousness at this point that when you do go back into the dream state, you'll have enough consciousness where you can go, oh, hey, wait a minute, I'm dreaming. And then you can do anything you want.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It is the coolest. It's
That's
better than sex. It's better than any drug. And it is unbelievably powerful.
And so, Lauri, is this essentially what people would name astral projection? Like that state of consciousness.
Would say it's astral projection. I don't know how I feel about astral projection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But lucid dreaming is a 100% real thing. Mm-hmm. And it is the most powerful state of consciousness that I think there is.
That'd be awesome. I can't wait. I'm going to try that.
Is that kind of
consistent?
Where you can
take it a few times, but
okay.
Is that? Oh, by the way, Colin, awesome pajamas. Is that kind of where you can go when you meditate and you're I don't know how to explain it. You're in that one state where you're not. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you're not conscious and you're not asleep. You're like in this drifting state where you can.
So that's more the alpha hypnagogia.
Okay.
State that we were talking about earlier. And that's kind of an in between.
Hypnagogia.
Sorry?
Hypnagogia.
Yeah.
I love that word. That's my new favorite.
I think it's the name of a band, right?
Yeah, Hypnagogia.
Yeah.
So that,
and coming to the stage tonight, Hypnagogia.
That is a meditative state. And, it is the rhythm of genius. That's a very creative and receptive state to be in.
Okay.
Very cool.
That's awesome. That definitely answered my question. I'm gonna go back into the shadows here. You guys finished.
It was nice seeing you.
Eva had a part 2 to her question.
Okay.
She's the one that is the medium. She said, what does it mean when the chatter does not stop?
So meaning when you go into sleep, it's still happening?
Yeah. And she can't quiet the voices and it won't stop.
That may be something that she should go to that's above my pay grade. I wouldn't know what to tell you about that, because I think that may not necessarily be the subconscious, but something, spiritual. So
Might need some training for that.
yeah,
Different kind of training.
Perhaps she should have her hypnagogia analyzed.
if you could try. What was her name? Eva?
Yeah.
Eva.
Okay. If you're able to ever get a lucid dream, try the lucid dream trick. And if you've got that chatter going on while you're in the lucid state, throw out the question. How do I make you stop? Or what are you trying to tell me? And then see the answer you get.
Okay. All right. Now. Oh, go.
No, go ahead. I was just one final question, Lauri. And again, thank you so much for spending this time.
No. I have a couple more.
I have so many things. I'm like, I can't say this on the air, but like,
yes, you can. That's where I'm going.
No, but one was like number one. And this is more of a spiritual thing. But if someone that I had never met before, but I'd seen several times, like when they kind of appear, and this is before I had any kind of interest in the metaphysical or anything. And this is actually one of the things that kind of sparked my interest into this whole world. When they appear, they're like younger and they're not old and frail. And you said that because this was, I say it was a dream, but I swear I was awake kind of deal. And I just vividly remember this one thing. So that would be, in your interpretation, something of like that was more of a real kind of interaction.
And so these are people that have passed on.
Yes.
Did you have any interaction with them in the dream?
None. Oh, yeah. I was handed something. I don't want to. This is like a spiritual thing, so I'll, at some other point, if we ever get to meet, I'll let you know. But it was him saying something to me, handing me something, and then that was it. But I remember the smile on his face. I remember like every single like detail.
Is your grandfather?
And what's that?
Is this your grandfather?
No.
Okay.
No, it's weird because like when you were asking that question, like if like, is it the just a message or is it actually like another person communicating with you? It's like to me, like the times it's happened to me, it's just like when it's like it's not something like you remember every detail, like the smile, the smell. Yeah, it's like just like a different level of senses, I guess. In that kind of aspect. So you would lean towards that was an actual thing then.
If it's still sitting with you and he looked the way he looked, and I'd love to know what he gave you and said, but another time, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I'm a very private person.
Was it life-changing?
On the air, yeah.
Was it life-changing?
Yeah. I at times pay attention. I at times don't, but it definitely, in the whole paradigm of my life, yes, it was, without question.
I would say, yeah.
Without question. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'm sorry. I just don't want to share this whole with all of our listeners and everything. I'm sorry. I have my issues. I'm working on coming out of my shell.
Okay. So sex dreams. I have questions. What are the most common sex dreams? Somebody wrote in and said, hang on. Wrong book. Okay. This was earlier when I mentioned that you were coming in. Okay. Dreamed about masturbating. It was not even a sex dream. This person was in a class, lying on her side, vibrator between legs. That's it. That's all she emailed. So like different sex dreams, things like that. And I guess I was hoping people would write in with more common sex dreams. What would you translate these things as?
So first of all, here's an interesting little tidbit of information about sex dreams. After the early 20s, women get more orgasms in their dreams than men, by far. Men almost cease to orgasm in their dreams. Of course, during adolescence and leading up to early 20s, They do it a lot.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yay, sex dreams. Everybody's waiting to hear about this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I was saying lucid dreaming is the best. Sex dreams can be the best too, depending on your partner. Anyway, so
Or lack
masturbation.
thereof.
Masturbation in a dream is often symbolic of one of two things, depending on the context of the dream. It can usually happen when you're doing something in real life that's self-serving. So whether you're being, selfish or you're finally doing something for yourself. So, if I had her to talk to, I say, well, at the time, were you doing something that was finally for you and that was satisfactory? If you orgasm in the dream as opposed to not orgasming also makes a difference, because orgasms are the complete satisfaction, the end result.
Mhm.
So if you don't, then that would indicate unfinished business in real life.
Oh,
So
wow.
you're working on hasn't reached that satisfactory conclusion yet.
Wow.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, I do have
Okay, so
another
sex
one.
dreams go in general because they can freak us out.
Yeah.
Make us run into the shower with a bottle of Clorox.
I do have another one that was just emailed.
Right.
Dreams on a boat. He was on there. He's on there with a woman wearing thigh-high boots, and she is beating him, and he likes it.
Well, I mean, sometimes
A dominatrix dream.
That's
sometimes our dreams
self-explanatory.
will allow us to explore things we haven't in real life.
Mhm.
But if I were to look at that as a psychological message from the subconscious to the dreamer, that could be telling him, so he was taking a dominant position in the dream. So it could be telling him that there's something going on in real life he needs to bow down to, allow to, what is the word I'm looking for? Not try to control, but just be passive about, allow to happen. Let someone take the wheel, so to speak.
Okay.
Oh, very cool. And was what if you never do that in sex dream?
What Jay Reezy said, what if you never do that in sex dreams, or you do things that you would never do?
Okay, if you do something that you would never do, then it is most definitely symbolic of something else.
Like if you are having same sex, like you're definitely not gay, but you're having a same sex experience.
Same gender. Okay, so all right. So in a nutshell, it's really important to remember, sex dreams are rarely about a physical union you want, but more about a psychological union you need. Okay, so that being said, the act of sex is when two separate bodies join together and act as one. So it is union, the connection. That's what's at play here in a sex dream. So dream of, say, for example, a coworker that you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, but you have the sex dream about them.
Oh, yeah.
Been there?
I mean, I'm talking about other coworkers, not you.
So if you get that sort of dream, it's not that you desire them, but there's something about them your subconscious desires and wants you to unite with. It could be something about their personality. Maybe they're the one that closes all the deals at work, and you desire that for yourself. So you want to pick 3 words that first come to mind when you think of that person, then apply those to yourself. If you were to connect with, unite with, merge with one of those qualities, would it be beneficial to you? And that's likely what the dream is about. You can also get it, like say you have, a sex dream with your sister. That's disgusting, but remember, it's symbolic. Don't look at it literally. So that would indicate that you've likely united, come together, connected on some deeper level. And this is symbolic of that connection.
Wow, very cool.
Okay.
Very cool.
I have a whole chapter on sex dreams in my book.
God. You could probably write several and That'll sell the book. That'll definitely sell the book.
That's amazing. Wow, that's so cool. And
Dream On. Her book is Dream On and Unlock Your Dreams, Change Your Life.
Yes.
Are there any other common things with sex dreams that you can think of that we should know?
Okay, so you talked about same sex with the same gender, and you're not gay. So if it's a stranger, just say you dream you have sex with some woman that you don't actually know, that doesn't actually exist. So it's not, that you have these deep underlying tendencies. No, it's more about what that gender represents. So for example, girl-on-girl dreams are really common during pregnancy because there's nothing more feminine than being pregnant. That's what the body is for.
Yeah.
Men can get the guy-on-guy dream when they've done something particularly manly. Maybe they landed that promotion they were going for, something that made them feel,
The influx of testosterone kind of.
Yes.
Wow, that's fascinating. Wow.
Well, in a dream, head is head, no matter who's giving it to you, I guess, right? All good.
I would know because I've never gone there in my dream. To my recollection, I've never had a dream like that, and hey, it's, I'm not complaining that I haven't had a dream like that. But
in my dreams, I'm non-discriminatory, so I don't care.
I'll tell you straight up.
I once dreamed of having sex with a dinosaur. So I'll just leave
which one? There's so many different dinosaurs. My God, what
I think it was a T-Rex.
I was going to say, are you a T-Rex kind of girl or a brontosaurus? Like,
I guess I'm
or vegetarian?
Girl.
Wow. All right. Hey, well, T-Rex, that'd be the one.
Little arms.
Little arms.
Unless you get really close.
It makes up for it in other areas.
Well, that's awesome. Well, are there any other questions out there before we let you go, because we've taken up enough of your time? Is there anybody?
This has been so great. Thank you.
I know. This was everything I was hoping for. Thank you.
Okay.
Colin, do you have anything else for us?
Actually, I do. And my girlfriend, she might be kind of mad at me for sharing this, but she told me the other day that she had a dream where we broke up because the sex wasn't good, but like it wasn't our life. Like I was I was Hispanic and famous and all of this other stuff, but I was still me. She was like, you were still the Colin that I knew. She was like, but things just didn't work out because in the dream, like the sex just wasn't good enough. Like that was kind of the reason behind,
I'm picking up on two things already. You're going to have to answer for her since she's not here.
Okay.
You were of a different race and the sex wasn't good enough. So my first thought is, would you say communication has been lacking lately?
You could say that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's why you were Hispanic as opposed to American. That's a language barrier. It wasn't your life, as she said.
But she's Hispanic, isn't she?
She is Hispanic, yes.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So she may wish that you were more on her level as far as communication goes.
I gotcha. Okay.
Okay, and so the sex wasn't good. It was the reason in the dream. Remember, sex is about connection, union. So there was something at the time she had the dream. There's something you guys just were not connecting about.
Okay. We'll have therapy session later today. I'll sit her down and we'll talk about this. We'll communicate it out and try to break this communication barrier that we have here.
It's simple. You just say, you know what, you're right. Problem solved.
I'm going to put that on repeat and just play that line to her.
I'm on it, Rose.
Definitely get the book. Go visit her website, right, Lauri?
Yes.
We can. Yep. Where can we find you on the interweb net thingy?
Yeah, so I'm LauriLoewenberg.com, but
Mhm.
Lauri Loewenberg is hard to spell. So if you just Google Dream Expert, I'm the first one that comes up.
Mhm.
And that's
Awesome.
where you can set up a phone call with me and we can go through your dreams step by step, piece by piece, so you can fully understand it, the message it's giving you, and the way it's trying to help you improve yourself and your life.
That's so awesome.
God, I would think that'd be so worth it.
Yes.
So worth it. It's like life coach almost.
Yeah. Well, your dreams
Yeah.
are your own built-in life coach that already
Yeah.
knows the answers you need.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on here. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your intelligence and your insight. So this has been amazing. So thank you.
My pleasure. I had a wonderful time and sweet dreams.
Awesome.
Thank
Yes,
you. You too.
Bye. Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God, that was so
that
awesome.
was cool. That was amazing.
Yes, it was.
That was
You're
absolutely
welcome.
amazing. Yep, there you go. Any excuse I get to wear a robe.
I know, right? I wear pajamas around the house too.
I
So
know.
I was like, oh, I get to wear pajamas at work. So this
Awesome.
was amazing. I want to say thank you to everybody who wrote in and sent out their dreams. Thank you for participating. This was a really fun show today. So
It was.
I thought we could end real quickly. A friend of mine made a suggestion about doing little tidbits about what else is going on in the world. So I wrote a few things down, and we just make a few little comments real quick.
All right, you're going to hear it. This is like a little bonus round coming up.
Yeah, here we go. So our good news story of the day is that the medical community can now operate on babies while they're still in the womb. This is particularly common for spina bifida. So if they operate within about 20 to 26 week period, they can fix the babies and they're born as close to healthy as humanly possible.
Wow.
And with spina bifida, the spine is exposed and they generally can't walk or have problems with it. And they have problems with bowel and bladder movement. And the fact that they can do this before they're even born is unbelievable science right there. So
wow.
I thought that was worth mentioning. So
wow, amazing.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yep. Our friend Chris Porter, we didn't get to mention this before, but he suggested as a cosplay character for you that you should be Billy Butcher from The Boys.
From The Boys, yes. I've checked that out on Amazon. I got to say, I do kindly agree.
Yes.
And, yeah. That's something that may be coming down the pipe, as they say. So turn me on, turn me
I would
loose.
agree with that too. Yep.
Yeah.
We now have 6 people in our book club. We are reading Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Say that 6 times fast. And we're all working our way through those chapters.
Amen.
At our own pace. But if you want to join our book club, it's it's right up there. Colin put it up. Thank you.
Are we going to have a day where we discuss this?
Yeah. Maybe the very next show, actually.
Okay.
Which we'll do right after this one.
Awesome.
So there's that.
Awesome.
Let's see. We talked about music last time, and everybody said that old music was not as good as new music. I am going to offer.
No, they said new music is not as good as old music.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, thank you for getting that right.
It's not.
I'm going to offer to call bullshit on that and just throw a few things out there, and we can talk about Arctic Monkeys, Wardruna, Linkin Park, Deftones, Tool, Imagine Dragons.
No, these are all good.
Okay.
Yeah, these are all good bands. We were
Yes. So
we said that half jokingly, half true. There are good bands out there, and I do agree with you on that. I just don't think it's as prevalent today as it was. Oh, Norway, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Norway. Good evening, Polar Nights.
Yeah, we'll discuss that.
Or good afternoon for us. Good evening for you. Let's see. For you, we can go more into this in the next show, but tell us about how California lost a seat in the House. So many people left.
Yeah.
You want to comment on that real quick?
Pretty much there is a, I don't want to say a mass exodus going on here, but there is an exodus. A lot of people I know, I'd say like one in 50 people out here that I know are moving. and they're moving to Texas, they're moving to Florida, they're moving to Iowa. That's an interesting thing. And I think, like with California, a lot of things have gotten so extreme here between taxes and everything else that
COVID shutdown.
That people are pretty much fleeing, and it's funny because it's now costing them, seats, and it's costing what California states, like how much they weigh in on the national discussion in terms of the lawmaking and policies and everything like that.
Wow, that's Jimmy's is like, because Texas.
Yeah.
Welcome to Texas. Here's your gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, politics. We have a way of saying new leader, same bullshit. That's pretty much.
Yep.
So and I on that mention with new leader, same bullshit. I had mentioned this because it was just a thought to me, whether you believe in assault weapons or pro-gun or not. This is just a thought, okay? I'm not going to say pro or against, but with heavy assault weapons, rather than ban guns or ban them, do we not have the technology to make them bio-friendly to where they don't work unless it's your fingerprint, your thumbprint? Would that not solve a lot of problems? So if you register for a gun or an assault weapon, and it only works if it is your fingerprint, would that not solve some problems there?
Can you imagine the campaign? Get red before you throw lead. You know what I mean? Get your thumbprint red before you start shooting. I mean, that's it. That's all you need to do.
They can do this with everything, pretty much. So why, even your phone. So why couldn't they put that on a rifle?
Check your ID before the bullets start to flee. That's all.
Just a thought. It's just a thought. So it might be the compromise that people need, where they can
make everybody happy. Yeah.
Yeah, they can. Yeah. Oh, God forbid we do that. They can have their weapons. We can keep everybody safe. So. Registered owners are using it. You cannot sell it to someone else. So it's your weapon. So no one can take it. If they steal it from you, they can't use it. So your kid can't use it. So there you go. Just a thought. And last but not least, Mario Andretti. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I believe it was him, came out recently and said that the loneliness was real. So he's lost a lot of people around him. And Jim Carrey recently said, and I believe this is in the book we wrote, that he really wishes that everybody could have a chance to be rich and famous so that they see that the problems don't change. And I thought about that. That's something that I know a lot of us have an issue with, especially this year, but previous to this year too. And they say that the biggest demographic of lonely are men in the ages of like 35 to 55, because men don't like to get vulnerable. Women can make friends a little easier than men sometimes, but not always. But a lot of people are busy with their families, their kids, and they're not out there making friends. So maybe we need to come up with an idea on how to get social, make friends. So because we need people. People need people. We need that. Different
Barbara
people
said it best, right? Wasn't that Barbara Streisand that sang that song? People need people. Right? Yeah, exactly.
So how I do it, because I've been able to cultivate some friendships, because I don't have family, so I need my friends. They're my family and they're amazing. You find the things that interest you the most, and then find communities and groups and go out to those. Or you can find them online also. So this really works actually.
Yeah.
So maybe that's our homework assignment this week, is figure out the things that interest you. And then find a community or three where you can go out and find your people, find them online, find your people, and see how that goes.
Nice. Right on. I'll get right on that.
We all need
I'm
friends.
curious. Yeah. I'm
So,
serious.
so we're going to roll into another show shortly. There, I almost screwed that one up there. But I just want to say thank you, everybody, for being here today. You can, if you're listening, you can watch us on patreon.com, The A Show. You can catch us on Twitter. It's _ The A Show. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv, The A Show. That's basically we're all over the place. That's Aron Stevens. I'm April Hunter. You can find us in various places. And we really, really appreciate your support on Patreon. We love it. We need it. We are happy to have it. And your attention is valuable. There's nothing more valuable than attention these days. So thank you for yours. And may the 4th be with you.
Absolutely.